Hi, Chad Barker, your Sudoku professor, and today I'm bringing you a puzzle that Algie's seat has stuck on. This is it right here. This is from, I think it's a book of puzzles called Grab and Go, and if I'm familiar, I've seen those before, so there's probably a series of them. I don't know which exact book this comes from. But the interesting thing is that this is rated hard. That's all it says, is just hard. Actually, I think it's much harder. It's probably like in the very hard category. It's not just hard. So let me show you what Algie has done. Algie's at this point right here. A lot of progress has been made down in this boxes 8 and 9. And there's a few other numbers filled in. Other than that, Algie's done a lot of think outside the box to no avail. Made some progress. There's, you figure out a few things, narrow some spaces down, but Algie's tried, I could see, tried some three corners and things like that, and not been able to solve it. And I completely understand why. Again, this is not just hard. Okay, this is very hard. And actually, Algie, this is a graduate level puzzle, in my opinion. Now, there may be another solution. I certainly didn't find it, but there are at least 2 different graduate level techniques that you can use. And just to relieve you of any concern, I got to the exact same stuck point that you did. Here's my stuck point with my pencil marking. Same numbers are filled in. My pencil marking looks a little bit different than yours, but nonetheless, there it is. Now, you are not a graduate member, Algie, but I'm going to show you one of those graduate level techniques that you can use, and I'll hint at the other one. For those who are graduate level members, you can get in there and see if you can find the other one. For that matter, if you're trying to solve this level of puzzle on a regular basis, even though it just says hard and it really should be rated a little higher, you're probably ready for the graduate level techniques. And so you might want to pick those up. All right, so now, again, everything goes along fine until we get to this point. And then the problem we run into is that there really isn't anything else to work with. You have vast areas of untouched space here that you don't know. There's pencil marking, but that's about it. Lots of spaces that can be, multiple numbers, more than 3 or more numbers. We don't even pencil mark them all. And so what I noticed, first of all, I'm going to show you the technique that I'm going to show you right now is what I call a potential deadlock technique. This is one of the first techniques that I show you. Now, unfortunately, this is not a simple version of the potential deadlock. So if you don't understand this, I get it. So in that regard, it is actually a more complicated version of the potential deadlock. Normally, we're finding just pairs of double-doubles that deadlock. This time we're finding 3 double-doubles. I call it a triple double-double deadlock. Anyway, let me show you what I noticed. So I noticed down here we got a 6-7 double-double right down here in box 7. And then up here we have a 3-7 double-double in these 2 spaces. Let me underline that to be clear. So if, for example, we could find a 3-6 double-double in these 2 spaces right here, or we could find it in one of these 2 spaces right here, we would actually deadlock. So if the red space, the spaces I marked with a red dot, ended up being a 3-6 double-double, or the spaces I'm marking with a green dot end up being a 3-6 double-double, then we have these 3 parallel double-doubles, the 3-6, the 3-7, and the 6-7, and there's actually no logical solution for that. That's what we're looking for with the potential deadlock. We're looking for, can we create a situation that deadlocks the puzzle? That's what I call the no logical solution is a deadlock. There's no way that you can solve the puzzle logically. So in this regard, I'm looking at the puzzle and I'm seeing that, okay, the reason I can mark these, I can focus on these spaces that I've marked with the red and the green dot is that we have 3 and 6 here along this row that eliminate these 2 spaces already. and 3 and 6 are eliminated from this middle space. So the only places that 3 and 6 can go are the ones that I've marked with a dot. Now, I look around and I say, well, how can I make one of these pairs of these spaces where these dots are, how can I make them 3 and 6? And I come over here and I realize that, hey, let me see here if I can do this right. If this space here is a 3, this space would be a 6, right? Because this space right here can only be 3 or 6. So if this space is a 3, this space becomes a 6. That eliminates 3 and 6 from the red dots. And then these two spaces here, let me just change my color. So these two spaces then have to be a 3-6 double-double. All right? So then we have our 6-7, 3-6, 3-7 triple-double here, 6-7, 3-6, 3-7 triple-double there. They're all parallel, and there is no logical solution because actually there are two solutions to that pattern. So you can't have that. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can also note that if this space here, instead of being a 3, like I've noted, if this space is a 6, then this space becomes a 3. So either way, if this space is either 3 or 6 right here, then we're going to have 3 and 6 eliminated from the spaces with the red dot, and we're going to end up with a 3-6 double-double right here where I've indicated it, and that's our deadlock situation. All right, so let's figure out what we got going on here. Okay, so let me actually move this up just a smidge, right to there, and let me see what we've got in this column here. I had already done the think outside the box. Obviously, I've done think outside the box everywhere, just like Algie had. Actually, it'd be easier if I just did the think outside the box along the row, not along the column. So let me recenter that a little bit. Okay, so if I do the think outside the box along the column, what I end up with is we're missing 3, 4, 6, and 9, right? This space right here has already had 9 eliminated from it, and 4 is obviously one of the possibilities. So before we got started, this space could be 3, 4, or 6. There's 3 possibilities that could go there. Now we've discovered that if this space is either 3 or 6, we have a problem, right? We're going to create this deadlock situation. So this space cannot be 3 or 6, and it can't be 9. So if we look at the thing outside the box, there's only one thing left for it to be, and it has to be the 4. All right, so let me do that real quick. So let me erase a little bit of stuff here so that we can erase this, and then I'll erase this over here. And let me go ahead and erase this pencil mark here. Okay, so this has to be a 4. All right. Now let me then erase some of this other notes that I've made over here. So now we know, because that's a 4, that we are not going to be able to create this 3-6 double-double. So we've taken the action that is opposite of the condition that that would create the problem. In other words, we found something that would create a problem, and we then went in the other direction. That's the way a lot of the graduate level techniques work. We are finding a problem. We're peeking into the future of the puzzle just enough to see a problem, and then we're avoiding that problem. So that's what we get with this right here. We get a 4 right here. Now, we fill in a number. This is great. Okay, so we start looking around and realize, we think, okay, we can just go ahead and fill in the rest of our 4s or something like that. But that's just actually not the case. So we have to look a little harder. I mean, if we already have the 4s up above and down below, so filling in the 4 doesn't help there. And if we look across, well, 4 is already eliminated along that row. So the only thing that we've really done is we've eliminated 4 from this space right here. 4 is already eliminated from here, so the only thing we did is reduce where 4 could go by eliminating it from this space right here. And then that space can still be 3, 6, or 9. This one can still be 3, 6, or 9. This one can only be 3 or 6. So well, that doesn't look like much. But now we need to look at, well, what else is going on in this box? We filled in a space in the box. So what can we do with that? What can we do in the box? It's not the number that matters. It's the fact that that space is no longer available. And actually, if we look at where can 3 and 6 now go in this box here, we see that it still goes here, obviously, but it's also eliminated from this space, and this space. So now 3 and 6 can only go in 2 places, here and here. All right, so let's do that. Indicate the double-double, that is. 3, 6, double-double here and here. And now, if that's the 3, 6 double-double, then these remaining 3 spaces have to be a 1, 7, 8 triple. Looks like it's going to be a triple-double. And the interesting thing is that that 1 is going to be now row eliminating. So 8 goes here or here, and then 1 goes here or here. Again, that's now 1 is now row eliminating, and that allows us to come over here, and this becomes a 2. And this becomes a 1, and then this space here has to be a 4, which then allows us to fill in 4 here, and let's see here. There's a lot of other things that we can do. So this becomes a 9, this becomes a 4 here, this is a 2 here, and then up here we go to 2. This becomes a 1, 9, which we'll fix in just a minute. Anyway, or we could fix. The bottom line is that at this point, the rest of the puzzle is fairly easy to solve. And Algie, I know that you are more than capable of solving it from this point. So I don't really expect that you will fully understand. There's no way that you could fully understand the potential deadlock technique given the brief explanation, because I have multiple videos on this, and we start with a lot simpler situations, and then we move into that more complex situation that we saw. As I mentioned, there is another graduate level technique that I spotted on this puzzle, and that is what we call linked double doubles. That's a technique that I released last year. It's actually a fairly straightforward technique, and in this respect, in this puzzle here, it would have been easier to see the linked double doubles than it would have to do the potential deadlock that I did. So just as an aside, at least in my opinion. And there may be other solutions on this puzzle, and actually I certainly hope that there isn't any easier solution than what I just showed you, because as far as a junior or senior level technique that I should have applied. But Algie, I'm pretty sure that you and I, between the two of us, we figured out that that's not the case. But who knows? We could always have missed something. But I do want to say, with regard to the linked double doubles technique, if you're a graduate member, see if you can find it on this puzzle. It does lead to a solution, just like this one did. However, it's in a different area. The linked double doubles from a geographic point of view on the puzzle is a completely different area than the potential deadlock that I showed you. All right, so Algie, thanks for the puzzle. I hope that helps. You're at that edge. You're solving these puzzles that you've plowed through those senior techniques. You're doing great. And now, you're at the point, you're tipping over where you're going to start running into more and more puzzles that are really, really hard. And so these graduate level techniques are probably where you're at right now. Those are the things that you really need. Hey, if you like that lesson and you want more like it, you may want to check out the Sudoku Professor's Insiders Club, where you get access to lots of great resources, solving tips and strategies, our exclusive puzzle library, a fantastic community of like-minded Sudoku enthusiasts, and much, much more. There's a link in the description down below. I'm Chad Barker, your Sudoku professor, and I'll see you in class.